Greetings commanders and welcome to the channel. Now, one of you asked what to do with officers, how to use them, when to use them, do they work? Well, I'm gonna look on the officers now and I'm going to answer these questions. I think it will be very valuable for you and you will be able to use them better. Now, before I start, quick reminder, subscribe to the channel so the channel can grow and well, you will see more videos like this. Now, I will start with the infantry officer. Now, the infantry officer, this is, I can say, the most basic one, the easiest one to play. Now, the other officers, as you will see, they're a bit more complex. Now, the infantry officer, you just put it in a stack with infantry, let's say motorized infantry. Let's go to the motorized infantry because this is the most playable infantry, and it goes with these guys here. It will boost the stats of the motorized infantry. Probably you already tried because it's very easy to research. A quick research, it takes like a couple of minutes in 4x and 30 minutes in the regular game, so it's very easy to unlock, it's very cheap, and also to actually produce it. Let's see how much time it takes to produce it. Well, it's about less than 6 hours and it really doesn't require much. Let's go to Kandahar. This is a base that isn't so much built and it needs army base level 1 and that's all. So basically it's very easy to put it early in the game if you want. Of course, it's still worth some good money even for the beginning. 2.8 supplies, more than 3000 components, so in the beginning you can make it, but it has to be a priority. Do you need it in the middle of the game? You need this in all the parts of the game. If you make it priority, if you go with infantries, if you have a good infantry, let's say motorized, as I said earlier, on a max level, yes, you can use it. Now, the good thing is that you can use it with all of the infantry. It will give bonuses to mercenaries, to national guards, to special forces actually, but do not combine it with special forces because they are stealth. Let me show you stealth unit. If you put infantry officer in the Spetsnaz, well, they will be no longer stealth, so remember that. So let's go to the airborne officer. Now, this guy is a pretty interesting one. You can combine it, of course, with the airborne infantry, and this is actually the best thing to do if you are going with airborne infantry. Combine it with this guy here. I won't say that I want to say that this isn't the best officer. It's interesting unit. You can combine it, of course, with special forces, but again, they will lose the stealth. The thing is that they have air assault, and this guy here, let's go to him, he got air assault too, so you can basically air assault with Spetsnaz and airborne infantry, but again, the Spetsnaz will lose the stealth bonus. Now, if you want to combine it with the other guys here, well, it's alright, but if you go with the infantry, it will be better. Not gonna lie. Now, about the speed, this guy is alright with the speed, not like the airborne infantry. They're very slow if they are not on the sky. This guy is alright with the speed, have bonuses on suburban and urban. Anyway, if you're going with an infantry officer, it will do better, in my opinion. At the end, I will give you, let's say, one example how to combine officers, but this will be at the end. Now let's go to the tank commander. Now this guy here is pretty strong. I will tell you that you need to actually use this guy not just for the tanks. You will need for support. If you actually combine it with stout artillery, or let's say multiple rocket launcher, some launcher, it will give bonuses to them also, not just about the tanks. Of course, if you play with tanks, it will give bonuses to everything, but also with all the support units. So this is a very complex officer, and if you are going with officers, you know, think about the tank commander. It's really a great choice. Now I want to go back a little about the airborne officer because I just forget something. This guy here actually at level 3 has stealth unit bonus, so you can combine it with, as I said, special forces, and it not gonna lose the stealth of the Spetsnaz. So this is very important, but again you need to have the certain level to unlock that. Now I can go to level 3. Level 4 needs requires a rank 53. I'm currently below 50, so this is something that I can go with level 4, but I can actually go with this guy here, and it's pretty good to combine it at level 3, but on level 3, you know, not before that. Now, rotary wing officer. Well, the rotary wing officer is also a very complex one because, sorry, I'm looking at the fixed wing officer. The rotary wing officer actually gives bonuses only to helicopters. The helicopters are not very playable, and I'm not going to tell you to unlock this unit unless you are making a lot of airports on the map. You're using, let's say, airborne infantry, you know, a lot of helicopters, then do it. But if you are going with just 5 or 10 helicopters, it won't make any difference. Now the fixed wing officer, this guy here is pretty much complex because it will give bonuses to all of that: strikers, fighters, and also bombers. Okay, and of course the naval patrol aircraft, you know, the stealth bomber, everything. It will give bonuses to everything. It's a good unit. It's a pretty strong one. His stats, this is just from the beginning, level 1. You can see it hits hard on the ground. The soft units, the hard units, it actually fights good against other, you know, fighters. It will crush helicopters. It will stop drones. It's pretty good one. It can actually attack on ships, so it's a good one. It gives very good bonuses to the other, of course, in the stack. As you can see, attack 15, speed 10, and speed 10. This is level 1, which is pretty good. Now most of the units give this kind of bonuses. Now you can see the seasoned veteran, the infantry officer, how good he is. Combined with, as I said, basic infantry, well, it will do good. Now this is something that I will tell you to use if you're going with aviation to hit hard from the sky. Well, make a fixed wing officer. Now later, let's go and see here. His stats upgrade, as you can see. Of course, the army boost, the combat radius. Now more you go, of course, more stronger it will get. We go to the naval officer, and the naval officer, well, it's, I'll put it this way. Now the naval at all can be very overpowered, especially if you play overkill. But keep in mind that you need food on the ground, so you can't expect just because you have a big navy to win you the game. I heard that before. Well, you will control the shores, but if you are not playing overkill, if you play the regular World War 3, well, you won't be able to take enough cities. I'll put it this way. But let's say that you have big navy and you need the naval officer. Well, the naval officer is giving big difference because now it has cruise missiles just because you unlock it, attack defense bonuses, it has sonar so it detects submarines, it has anti-air, it can stop missiles, fixed wing aircraft, rotary wing aircraft. It's very complex. Now it will give bonus to only ships, keep in mind, not submarines. But if you're going with navy, have this. You won't regret it. It's a very strong unit. I'm not gonna lie. It has 55 hit points at the start. If you upgrade it a little, let's say to level 3, well, it has 65, and you can see how strong it is just by a single one. Launch missiles upgrade to 3, so attack 20% bonus, defense 25. It's great. It's a great unit. If you have naval, use that. Now, submarine commander. The submarine commander is also a great unit, especially if you play with attack submarines. Now, if you play with, let's say, ballistic submarines, there is no point to use it because you're using ballistic and it won't make any difference. But if you're playing with attack submarines, well, it will bring a change. Also, it has cruise missiles, of course. Now, here, as you can see, it has speed to ships, to naval surface units, and this is the difference. Now, the naval officer don't give anything to the submarines, but the submarine commander gives something to the ships. Of course, the regular thing is that attack defense speed is a bonus to the submarines. Do you need to unlock that? Also only if you have attack submarines. Now, I want to give you the best, let's say, the best thing that you can do if you want to play with officers and to take the best advantage of the bonuses. Now, if you play with, let's say, infantry, let's go to the infantry. Let's say that you have special forces and you have motorized infantry, which is a good combo, a very good one. Of course, not to combine it, but to have it, let's say, side by side. Now, if you have these two types of units, and if you have infantry officer and airborne officer, you can combine the officers along with, let's say, the motorized infantry or the special forces, and it will have a much bigger bonuses. Let me show you something now. Let's say that they are level 1. For the infantry officer, you have, as you can see, 15 attack, 15 defense, 15 speed, and it actually gives you speed to the, as you can see, the machines, about the tanks and support. But we look on the infantry now. 15% to all. This is the bonus. Now we go to the airborne officer. The airborne officer, let's see the bonuses about him. 10% attack, 5% defense. So actually, if you combine it with basic infantry, or if you combine it with the Spetsnaz, the special forces, you will actually have 25% attack just on level 1, and also you will have 20% defense. So it's something very good. Keep in mind that you can combine it, and also you can combine the tank commander with the infantry officer because it will make faster the tanks and the support units, as you can see here. 15%. Of course, the tank commander, it's giving especially to machines. Now it also gives 15% to infantry, so you can combine with the previous two with the airborne officer and the infantry officer, these 3 units in one stack with a little bit of infantry, a little bit of support, some tank. You know, you can make something very spectacular actually. It's up to you, be creative. Now the guys here not gonna, you know, say something bad about the players. I think the community is actually good, but most of the players play like World War II, World War I, World War II, pretty straightforward. Be creative, make something that is unexpected. This is very important. Now I wanna just show you something. If you have the elite special forces, keep in mind that if you have, they're pretty good. If you have infantry officers stuck in them, they will receive the bonuses because the elite special forces are basically infantry, and they will take bonuses from the airborne and from the infantry officer. So if I should sum it up, this is how I will go, which officer I will actually unlock. I will go with the infantry, airborne officer, tank commander, and if I have, now here is important, if I decide to play on the sky, to have a big power on the sky, I will go with the fixed wing officers, but only if I have upgraded my strikers to the max, or bombers, or whatever I decided to choose, and the same with the naval officer. Now if you have just one port, you won't be able to produce any ships anyway, and you won't be the dominator of the sea anyway, and having the naval officer won't change it. You want to have the best navy, for example, and this guy just to be the, you know, the king, so he can be where it needs to be, and to show respect, to show some power, and to crush enemies. But these guys need good background behind them, and it's the same with the fixed wing officer. This is it. I will go with them only if I decide to be the king on the sky or the king at the sea. With the submarine commander I won't go because I don't play so much with attack submarines. About the helicopters, I told you they're not very good. They have smaller range, and since I don't play with them, you need a lot of airfields, and this costs money. So if you don't have helicopters, you know, you don't need this guy here. The first 3, well, they're really good, you can use them, but again, keep in mind the airborne officer, in my opinion, if you're not playing with elite special forces or special forces and you can't upgrade it to level 3, well, it's not very useful. Now if you decide to make some big army, just for the example I told you, very complex army, well, go for the 3, combine it, see what's gonna happen. It will be interesting for you. So this is how I will just end here. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, leave a comment, share it with your friends. Let's make this channel bigger because a lot of players need advices, and well, it will be nice to gather here and discuss tactics of Conflict of Nations World War III. Thank you and see you next time.